You tapping in real quick. UFC fight night, Burns versus Brady, and we stayed in the apex for this one. Who will the smaller cage be a benefit to next Saturday night? And who will that smaller cage be a disadvantage to? That is to be determined. I do appreciate y'all for tapping in. This is the final thoughts, the final talks, the final answers. This is the finals on everything. You know what I'm talking about? I will do my best not to hold y'all ears hostage for too long, as we have already been over most of this. Let's go ahead and dive into it, man. That first fight of the night, in my personal opinion, should still be a complete pass for absolutely everybody. It's Ramaska versus Fletcher. It's an individual making his UFC debut against another individual who's making his UFC debut, and neither one of these individuals have been battle tested against a legitimate high level of opposition as of yet, in my personal opinion. So I find it almost impossible to be highly confident on either side with either guy. But I do find it just a bit more comfortable being on the side of Fletcher, due to the fact that I do believe Fletcher to be the more technical practitioner out of the two. Cleaner, crisper, not as dangerous as Ramaska in the striking department, but still dangerous in his own right, but also has the wrestling and grappling in his back pocket to get this match to the mat relatively easily, in my personal opinion. And while Ramaska doesn't have the best get-up game, he does have decent defense while on the ground. So it's going to really be about what Fletcher's able to do when he does secure these takedowns. If he's going to be able to put him in a compromisable position, sink into submission, get him out of there inside the distance, ground and pound from the top position for the KO, TKO inside the distance, or just drag it out for 15 minutes, unable to put him in compromisable positions, while Ramaska in his own right is unable to get the fuck back up and, put the fight in the striking department where he'd rather it be, man. So it can go a whole bunch of different ways. As I said, I still believe Ramaska to be the more dangerous individual out of the two, but he's also, the more reckless and sloppier out of the two in his pursuit of his opponents. And that just, I can't be comfortable with that. Especially when, he's up against another individual who's a bit not as dangerous, but dangerous in his own right, cleaner, crisper, and has the wrestling to get this fight to the ground and make Ramaska uncomfortable and frustrate him, possibly round after round. You understand what I'm saying to you? So, complete pass situation. It's why it wasn't even talked about in the parlay video, because I don't want anything to do with it. And I don't believe any of y'all should have anything to do with it. So I didn't even offer that shit, man. It is what it is, man. Fletcher's the pick. Andre versus Dylan. Prospect versus prospect. Wrestler with the overhand versus wrestler with the overhand. It's just one wrestler with the overhand is, way more dangerous in the jiu-jitsu department, and that's what separates them there. That's what makes me feel like Dylan's not going to want to do too much wrestling or getting entangled with Andre Petrowski. They're both power. They're both tanks. They're both, they're both strong. And they're both very strong in the wrestling department. It's just one is very strong in the jiu-jitsu department. And I think the threat of the submission is going to keep Dylan a little timid about, getting into them takedown or grappling, kind of situations, man. So it's kind of, it's going to play out on the feet for the most part, in my personal opinion, unless Petrowski, initiates a takedown or a grappling situation to try to get himself entangled with this, other wrestler with the overhand and choke him the fuck out or something, man. It is what it is. I get it. Andre Petrowski, he's the pick and he should be the favorite. Dylan, I'm not high on him. I picked against him when he made his debut against Cesar Almeida. I had Cesar Almeida, on method to get him out of there via KO, TKO. I had him on a double chance to get him out of there via KO, TKO, or points. You understand what I'm saying to you? Just not high on Dylan at all in any way, shape, form, or fashion. I'm not high on Andre either. Don't get it fucked up and don't let that mislead you. I'm not high on either guy. You know what I'm talking about? But Andre Petrowski, in my personal opinion, is the more dangerous of the two and has more ways to get this one done. So it's really a no-brainer for me, man. Gabrielle and Yizza. I'm still rocking with Gabrielle. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, he's not in any of my personal main parlays. You know what I'm talking about? Because I do have question marks on that fight. It just is what it is. It's a fucking fact. You know what I'm saying? I'm personally not high on Yizza or the other guy, Wrong Zoo. You know what I'm talking about? And that's with all due respect to both of those individuals, the level of opposition that they've faced and the promotions that they've come from. I just feel like the level of opposition over here is completely different. Again, this is all just my personal opinion. So although Wrong Zoo may be 25-5 and Yizza's 25-4, he's still very much a prospect over here in my eyes, in my personal opinion, amongst these other prospects who have been up against a different level of opposition. It's just different, man. Again, it's just my personal opinion. His, 25-4 is against opposition with combined records of 239 wins, 158 losses. Where Gabrielle's 10-2 is against opposition with combined records of 90 wins and 20 losses. You understand what I'm saying to you? Quite a bit more fights on the Yizza side of things, hence the numbers. But the win-to-loss ratio, in my personal opinion, there's no big difference, man. And I rank both Lerone Murphy and David Onama as higher levels of opposition than that of anything that Yizza has ever had to face in his 25-4 run. You understand what I'm saying to you? And a split decision loss to Lerone Murphy, and everybody knows how high I am on Lerone Murphy, man. Like, that's my guy. You know, I'm talking about him, Montel. It's a few of these individuals that I'm very high on, man. You know what I'm saying? So a split decision loss to him, it's nothing to frown on that young man about, and I'm really not going to get down on him about getting caught by David Onama neither, man. Who the fuck knows what happens to Yizza against both of those individuals? You feel me? So it is what it is. It's not a highly confident pick, but it is a pick for Gabrielle to be the one to get it done in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Whether that's via unanimous decision, split decision, majority decision, or finding the finish inside the distance. I'm going to rock with the scrap to get it done. You know what I mean? And Andre Lima versus Felipe Dos Santos, man. I'm still on Andre Lima. I still believe Andre Lima to be the cleaner, crisper, more technical practitioner of the two in the striking department. They are both very talented. They are both very fucking dangerous. One is just a bit more reckless in his motherfucking pursuit. One is just a bit more sloppy in his approach to the fight game entirely. And that, in my personal opinion, is Felipe Dos Santos, where Andre Lima is just cleaner, absolutely everywhere. And he can get it done in, any which way. Via unanimous decision, if the shit found itself being crazy tight, via split decision. You understand what I'm saying to you? Via finding the finish inside the distance, whether that's a KO, TKO, by clipping him and disconnecting him from his consciousness on the feet, a club and sub situation where he clips him, hops on him, and sinks, locks up a submission inside the distance for the victory that way. It's just multiple ways I can see Andre Lima winning this fight, and I just really don't see Felipe winning this fight. I don't see him. Maybe he can win a split decision, you know what I'm saying? Maybe, but I just don't see it. He's sloppier. He does possess a maybe 2.5 inch reach advantage. I don't think that's going to matter much. As I said, he's a bit sloppy, a bit reckless, you know what I'm saying? But on the other side, Andre's not. He's just cleaner. He's just crisper. He's more technical. The volume's going to be neck and neck, in my personal opinion. I don't necessarily give either one of these individuals the advantage in the speed or the power department. They're both very fucking dangerous. Like I said, they're both very fucking talented. There's just one who's all around mixed martial arts game I'm a little bit higher on. and that is Andre Lima. And it has nothing to do with the fact that he's 9-0 and old boy is 8-1 with his 9 fights, because the one loss to Manel Cop, I do not fault that man for. You feel me? But with that being said, not exactly sure that Andre Lima loses that fight to Manel Cop right now, man. And that's with all due respect. It is what it is. It's my pick. You know what I mean? Andre Lima to get it done in some way, shape, form, or fashion via unanimous decision. If that, if the judges is wild and it's crazy competitive and, it's tight like ant pussy at the end of the night, via split decision, Andre's getting the nod. You know what I'm talking about? Knockout, KO, TKO. You know what I'm saying? Clean knockout, straight KO. Club and sub for the submission. Doesn't like what old boy's doing. Dips under while he's swinging. Secures his own takedown and searches for the submission and sinks it in. It's multiple ways I can see him winning. With all due respect to Philippe. But again, this is very much prospect versus prospect, and two very dangerous prospects facing off. So it's pick your own poison. I've picked mine. You pick yours. You know what I'm talking about? Isaac and Brendan. It is what it is. For the sake of the pick, it's Isaac. You know what I'm talking about? But I don't want anything to do with the fight. I highly suggest nobody out there has anything to do with this fight. I mean, the boy is like minus 2,500 right now. I said it in my video where I just went on a little rant about money lines. You know what I mean? Like, these money lines are fucking crazy, man. Hands down. Nobody can deny it. They're fucking out of control, man. Our GOATs. Our George St. Pierre's, man. You know what I'm talking about? GSP, Anderson Silva. Even before GSP, Matt Hughes, you know what I mean? And you got your Anderson Silvas. Before that, Frank Trey. Like, we've had a lot of motherfuckers who was the guy in that division, you know what I mean? Before Anderson Silva, it was motherfucking Rich Franklin. You feel what I'm saying to you? We had Matt Hughes and them running shit, you know what I mean? But none of these individuals, not John Jones, you know what I'm talking about? Not even Chuck Liddell at his highest of highs, I don't believe ever saw a minus 2,500 next to his name against anybody. Like, these money lines are fucking crazy, man. Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson, Jose Aldo, you know what I mean? None of these individuals saw these kinds of lines, man. None of these individuals saw these kinds of lines. Henan Barral, when he was doing his little thing on like a 30-something fight win streak, I mean, he had a lot of steam on him. Long like train smoke the steam was off that boy, you know what I'm talking about? But never did we see numbers like this. But an Isaac Delgarian gets it, coming off a loss to the prospect killer who's coming off a loss himself. You feel what I'm saying to you, man? It's crazy, man. Crazy. He's, where is he? Where you at, boy? 6-1 up against opposition with combined records of 29 wins and 10 losses. With his only loss coming via Christian Rodriguez, who in my personal opinion isn't a high level of opposition. He's just a tier above Isaac, man. You know what I'm talking about? But, you know, on the other side, it's Brendan. 8-2 up against opposition with combined records of 46 wins and 42 losses. What the fuck, man? You know what I mean? Womp. Fuck this fight for so many reasons. One of the most important ones, though, Isaac is very unreliable at this stage. Maybe not prior, maybe not before the UFC, but right here where we are right now, he is a very unreliable individual to bet on in that minus 2,500, what are you going to do? Like, if you want to go to the method section and say he's going to win this way, you can't fucking be comfortable with that because you can't rely on him to win that way. You want to go to the double chance and say he's going to win this way or this, you can't really rely on that shit neither, man. He might fly off the motherfucking game plan. Who the fuck knows what might happen in there? What if Brendan comes out there and starches Isaac? What if he syncs up a front choke or a guillotine choke or some kind of submission when they're dry and Isaac's shooting for that takedown in the first minute? Like, what the fuck then? Anything could happen in this dumbass fight, man. Complete pass. Isaac's the pick. But it should be a complete pass. There's nothing you can do with it, man. You can't trust this young man enough, in my personal opinion, to go fucking around with the props, man. You just can't trust him enough, man, unless you're gonna cover every single prop. You know what I mean? Can't trust him. Isaac's the pick, man, for what it's worth. Jacqueline versus Vanessa. Vanessa's the pick, man. Vanessa is the pick. That's it. And it's not just a dog play. I'm confident that she is the better mixed martial artist all around, man. Her all-around body of work that she's been able to produce in her 11-5 run is far better than that of what Jacqueline's been able to produce in her 8-1 run, which has been up against opposition with combined records, 36 wins and 17 losses, where Vanessa's 11-5 has been up against opposition with combined records of 105 wins, 41 losses. And I stated this back when she was fighting Emily Ducati, and she was over the 300 line, plus 310. And I was, throwing her in all types of parlays. You feel me? I would venture to say that, Vanessa's route to the UFC was a bit harder than that of Jacqueline. Vanessa fought, a couple individuals that would later be in the UFC, regardless of how they fared in the UFC, you know what I mean? And then coming into the UFC, it's been what it's been, you know what I mean? I believe she's the better mixed martial artist all around. And I know one thing has nothing to do with the other. Jacqueline lost to Sam Hughes via unanimous decision. Vanessa wrapped her up, got her out of there inside the distance via submission. One thing has nothing to do with the other, but I do believe Vanessa to be the better all-around mixed martial artist absolutely everywhere in every department. You understand what I'm saying to you? Jacqueline has the reach advantage. That's what Jacqueline possesses in this matchup. She possesses the reach advantage. And that is absolutely it, in my personal opinion. And with that being said, just about everybody Vanessa has ever stepped into any cage with has possessed a significant reach advantage over her. So that does not move me in one bit. I do believe her to be the better mixed martial artist, and that's just it, man. You know what I'm talking about? So, Vanessa's the pick. Vince versus Ryan. Vince is the pick, man. It is what it is. It's not the first time. Hold up. Hey, you! Rock! The fuck is you doing, boy? It's not the first time that some of my most confident picks have been, had underdogs wrapped up in them. So it is what it is. We are in a doghouse. I do expect dogs to bark, but it's not a dog or pass situation. Not for Vanessa, not for Vince, and not for Chris. I expect all three of these dogs to show up and get the job done. I said it about Vanessa. I believe her to be the better all-around mixed martial artist who has produced a better all-around body of work throughout her career. And we have still yet to see the best from her, in my personal opinion. Ovin St. Preux against Ryan Spann. I believe Ovin St. Preux to be the better all-around mixed martial artist out of these two. And that's a fucking fact. You know what I'm talking about? He can win this fight via unanimous decision. If it was close and it went the distance, via split decision. He could win it via finding that submission inside the distance, or via KOT, KO on the feet inside the distance, or a club and sub type of situation. There's so many ways for Vince to win this, and there's one way for Ryan Spann to win, and that's via knockout. He does not win via submission. If he goes to the ground, he's getting submitted, in my personal opinion. He does not win via decision. If it goes to the cards, he's losing that decision. Whether it's a split, whether it's a majority, or whether it's a unanimous, man. He's not winning the decision against Ovin St. Preux. Ovin St. Preux will produce the better all-around body of work over the course of those 15 minutes, man. You understand what I'm saying to you? And nothing really about Ryan Spann's resume is impressive, man. Nothing really stands out other than, one name that he got rid of in Dominic Reyes, but you have to go back and look at when he got rid of him, man. That was in the mix at the end. We can say at the end, you know what I mean? Because Dominic just got a win. But if he loses again after the win he just got, then it's not necessarily, wasn't the end, was it? You know what I'm saying? So that's to be determined if it was, he caught Dominic at the end. Because I believe he may have been the last one to knock Dominic out before Dominic just turned the corner and caught a dub. and started feeling all good about himself again. And everybody got behind him and got on the train and was like, we got a new revived Dominic. Well, we need to see Dominic, you know, in there again, in my personal opinion, to really judge how far he's evolved. That was, you know what I mean? Like, come on, man. That was who it was, who he caught the dub over. In my personal opinion, it's nothing for everybody to just, you know, turn around and be like, Dominic Reyes is back. He's that guy. He fitting to, you know, make a run for the title. Everybody better watch out. Come on, man. Come on, man. Stop it. But anyway, with all that being said, the Dominic Reyes that Ryan Spann caught and got the fuck up out of there was the Dominic Reyes that everybody was catching and getting the fuck up out of there. You know what I'm talking about? The Dominic Reyes that Ovin St. Preux fought to the distance for, you know, to lose the decision to Dominic Reyes was primetime Dominic Reyes that was on his way to John Jones. You understand what I'm saying, too? There's a bit of a difference. If we're going to bring up Dominic Reyes' name, then let's really bring up Dominic Reyes' name on the resumes and talk about when they took place. There's a difference in the Dominic Reyes that they fought, in my personal opinion. Ovin St. Preux fought the best Dominic Reyes there was. He had all that steam, all that confidence, that motherfucking winning streak. He was on his way for the title. He was running through motherfuckers, but he still couldn't run through Vince. He took him to a decision and won that decision. But then he kept on going, hit John Jones, hit all them motherfucking knockout losses, got knocked out by Ryan Spann, came back, got himself a dub. Everybody's feeling good about him. He's feeling good about himself, but we don't know if he's really, that was really the end, you know, of his slump, or if that was just a win in the mix of it. You know what I mean? Chuck got knocked out how many times and then caught a dub, you know what I'm saying? Then got knocked out some more. Like, come on, man. We got to give it time, and we got to see how much a motherfucker has really evolved. We can't base it just off of, you know what I mean, this one last performance. I went crazy on that, y'all. My bad. I apologize. Not high on Ryan Spann. On the other side, Vince, that's my guy, man. You know what I'm talking about? And while Vince's best days may be behind him, he's not living them no more as far as combat sports performance are concerned. Neither the fuck is Ryan Spann. You know what I'm talking about? So neither one of these individuals are in their prime. And even a prime time Ryan Spann is not that guy, in my personal opinion, any fucking way. Where a prime time Ovin St. Preux is a very fucking dangerous individual. And he's still a very fucking dangerous individual. And he has so many ways to win this fight. So many fucking ways to win this fight, man. You know what I mean? And, you know, I did just cash on him at plus 500. You feel what I'm saying to you? Against an individual that he had no business being plus 500 against. Ryan Spann's another one that he has no fucking business being plus anything against. But he's plus like 200 or something. Give it to me. Give it to me all goddamn day. You know what I'm talking about? Again, my bad. Just my personal opinion. Vince is the pick. Vince is the pick via unanimous decision, via split, via majority, via submission, inside the distance, via KO, TKO, or a club and sub type situation. Vince is the pick for so many reasons. And Ryan Spann does not possess the reach. He doesn't possess the physical advantages that he normally possesses to be able to tap that button. As Vince has the reach by an inch for what it's worth. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. I like Vince. I like his hands. I like his kicks. You know what I'm talking about? And I like in the mixture of his all-around mixed martial arts game. My bad. That's that with that. Rong Zhu versus Chris. Imagine this is the lineup fight night. And imagine y'all motherfuckers are there watching these fights, and Vanessa secures the bag, and then Vince gets it done with like a submission or a head kick knockout inside the distance, and then in comes Chris to lock up motherfucking Rong Zhu with not just his once, second, third, fourth, but give him his fifth submission loss inside the distance. Rong Zhu is 25-5 with 4 of those submissions, with 4 of those 5 coming via submission inside the distance. Huh? 25-5 with 4 of those 5 coming via submission inside the distance. And he gets to go up against Chris, my guy, who's gonna wrap him the fuck up inside the distance and get him out of there yet again via submission. And when that happens and that prelim's over and those 3 dogs bark to close off the card, boy, oh boy, it's gonna be another one of those nights like when Vanessa was on the prelims a few months back. Boy, oh boy, huh? Again, you know, that's who I like, man. With all due respect to Wrong Zoo and his 25-5, it's from over there on the other side with them other guys where that other level of opposition resides, in my personal opinion. You know what I'm talking about? Again, with all due respect, that is just my personal opinion. From what I've seen, visualized with my own eyes, you know what I mean? And take it for what it's worth, man. But to close them up, you know, to recap and close out these prelims one final time, Fletcher's the pick, Andre Petrowski's the pick, Gabriel Santos is the pick, Andre Lima's the pick, Isaac Delgarian's gonna be the pick, Vanessa's the pick, Vince is the pick, and Chris is the pick. Who? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Main card, man. Trevor versus Yanal. When I say this, I can't say man. Because I was just in this motherfucker burning it down on Netflix watching that motherfucking Good Boys movie with them nut-ass little kids, man. He handed the girl the little neck. They anal. Man, every time I say I think of the little kid handing her that goddamn anal beads as a necklace talking about, I think they're anal. Fucking man. God damn it. That's what this weed will do to you too, man. Ain't that about a bitch? All for the geek and back to the fight. Fuck Trevor Peak. I'm taking next Saturday night. You know what I mean? That's that with that, man. This is prospect versus prospect. 2 individuals that, if we're being honest, neither one of them have high ceilings inside the UFC in this division. And honestly, I believe, ceilings have been reached, man. You know what I mean? I'm not impressed by Peak in any way, shape, form, or fashion. I believe he's reckless. I believe he's sloppy in his all-around approach to the whole entire game. And it has worked for him against other lower-level individuals that fell victim to that shit. He's, I guess he's tough, you know what I mean? And can take a punch, has faith in his chin, so doesn't much give a fuck. But it's gonna hurt him more times than it's not, you know what I'm talking about? In my personal opinion, that reckless, just swinging from the hips, haymakers, chasing motherfuckers and die. I mean, like, he be lunging into punches, just swinging the left while the right's back here waiting to be, cocked way back here waiting to be swinged, chin up in the motherfucking air. Don't give a fuck about getting it touched. It is what it is, man. It's just a bit too reckless, you know what I mean? A bit too sloppy. And what's crazy, I believe he's a bit sloppier and more reckless than motherfucking Ramaska. But for those same reasons, I can't be comfortable picking a Trevor Peak, man. I'm not comfortable picking a Yanal neither. You know what I mean? I believe one of these tough motherfuckers is going to hit the mat. And one of these motherfuckers might hit the mat stiffened up in the same position that they was standing up fighting in. It might go down like that, man. Somebody might fold up like a motherfucking lawn chair when they get disconnected from their consciousness out there next Saturday night, man. I'm going to pick Yanal, though, because I believe Yanal has more ways to get it done. If he don't like the way things are going in the striking department, it's very easy, in my personal opinion, to just slip under Peak while he's swinging recklessly and lock up a power double on that motherfucker. Shit, Matt Hughes him across the octagon if you want to. You know what I'm talking about? And just do your 1-2. Multiple openings for takedowns for Yanal. Just dipping under those reckless motherfucking shots he's going to be throwing. And then Yanal can get it done via submission or drag it out to a greasy decision. Either way, you know it's going to be the pick, but I don't want anything to do with the fight. Matt versus Alessandro. It's obviously Alessandro. As you can see, he's part of my foundation. It's enough said, man. I'm not high on Matt Schnell, and Alessandro can get this guy out of there in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Multiple ways for him to win, man. Kyle versus Steve. I'm high on Steve in this matchup. I'm glad that he's not a crazy favorite. You feel what I'm saying to you? Because I feel like he gonna put the work on Kyle, man. He gonna give him the business, man. He gonna hurt that young man out there. If it goes the full distance and he survives 15 minutes, he might be bumblebeed the fuck up. Soup cooler leaking, snot box busted, eyes bumblebeed the fuck up. You know what I mean? Ears leaking. He might fuck that young man up if it goes the full 15 minutes, because he's gonna hurt him. And that reach advantage works very much to his advantage. You know what I mean? And he's precise. His 1-2 down the pipe is nice. His counter hooks, nice. Kid's vicious, man, in my personal opinion. And I like him. Natalia Silva versus Andrade. Like I said, man, outside of Andrade bulldogging her way in, snatching Natalia Silva up and dumping her on her head and slumping her the way she did Rose Namajunas, she don't win this fight. And with that being said, Natalia Silva's frame won't allow her to do that, man. She's not built like Rose Namajunas. The long lankiness is not there. Her frame matches up very well with that of Jessica Andrade's frame, and she's a lot more agile. You know, the mobility is there. Her movement, all-around movement, foot movement, head movement, her strike diversity, and the way she mixes everything together, very much so fun and pretty to watch, man. You know what I'm talking about? Like the way she puts her combinations and strings things together, it's pretty to see, man. You know what I mean? She gets to flow and emotion out there and gets to doing her 1-2. And when she's in a zone, she's a problem for absolutely anybody, because she's solid absolutely everywhere. You know what I mean? I do see it going to full 15. I do see it going to the decision. You know what I mean? But with that being said, if the finish is found inside the distance in this matchup, I feel like it'll be found by Natalia Silva via Jessica Andrade's, you know, relentless approach. She does leave and will leave openings when she gets to be a bit desperate for the finish, when she knows she's behind on the chords. You know what I'm talking about? And I can see Natalia sidestepping and taking advantage of those openings and possibly making Jessica Andrade, you know, take a nosedive and kiss the fucking canvas. Main event, Burns versus Brady. I did the official pick switch to Brady, unfortunately, for myself and for Burns, man. You know, I would have liked to have seen him win the fight, but with that being said, I would also like to see Sean win the fight. You know, he out here, Tri-State, Delmarva. He trained with and fuck with a lot of individuals that, you know, I fucks with and train with on a regular, you know what I mean? So he's a good dude. He's a good dude, very solid, very well-rounded, you know what I'm talking about? And, you know, we have yet to see the best from Sean. Like, Sean's best days are still in front of him. He wants that Bilal fight back, you know what I'm talking about? You know, we just haven't seen the best from Sean yet, where we have seen the best from Gilbert, you know what I mean? Gilbert's best days are behind him, in my personal opinion, very much so like, you know, last week's main event with Jarrett and Caio. Gilbert, as much as I might have liked to see him win, because I've followed his whole career, you know what I'm talking about, through lightweight, through welterweight, you know what I'm saying? And just like Jarrett, his career through multiple divisions, you know what I mean? You want to see these guys win at the end of their run. But you have to grip on the reality and realize that their day's not coming, their day has already come. You know what I mean? Where Sean's hasn't. So we may very well see the absolute best performance that we've ever seen from Sean Brady next Saturday night. And I'm looking forward to it, man. You know what I mean? So that's that with that. Recap, it's Fletcher, Andre Petrowski, Gabrielle, Andre Lima, Isaac, Vanessa, O. Vince, and Chris for the prelims. Then it's Janal, Alessandro, Steve, Natalia, and Sean for the main card, man. And if y'all like both those Andres and you like Isaac, on the prelims, the only way you're going to get a play on Isaac is by wrapping him in a parlay. And you can catch Andre, and Isaac at plus 150. You know what I mean? Andre, Isaac, and Gabrielle at plus 252. Is what it is. Do with it what you do. Run from it. Run with it. I appreciate y'all for tapping in. Other than me posting a couple little, quick clips for individual parlays, that'll be that with that, man. And with that being said, anybody who's been tapped in from the beginning already knows when we have, off weeks where we don't have no UFC coming up and we gotta wait a week, I'm gonna fuck around and tap back in with the next 2 or 3 cards, man, and give you my picks and my quick picks and my final thoughts and all that shit for the next 2 or 3 cards, because I'll be in this motherfucker board, locked, loaded, and ready to go. I ain't be playing over this motherfucker, man. We at the doghouse. I appreciate y'all for tapping in. This has been the final thoughts, the final talks, the final answer. This has been the final for everything, man. You know what I mean? Appreciate y'all.